Okay. So yeah, we're Globers by default, and like I say that because obviously we haven't looked into flat Earth. I feel like a lot of people who listen to this won't ever, unless they listen to this maybe. So that'll be a good place to go. So, I mean, it's a blank canvas. Like,
Globers by default. We're all Globers by default. And one thing I always like to ask, and the rabbit hole opens and swallows us, is why do you believe you live on a globe? And before you say photos of Earth, boats over the horizon, sticks and shadows, seasons, day and night, and because nobody can keep a lie that big. I have to warn you, I have answers for all of those. So I hope.
I thought that might be the case. I thought that might be the case, but like, I feel there's a lot of questions. The Globers by default would have for flat earthers that they feel there'd be an obvious answer for, but like maybe there's not, or maybe
so let me tell you that we all get into everyone. There's millions of us now, and when none of us wake up and say, "Hey, I want to be a flat earther," because that just comes with a lot of ridicule and scorn, and you lose friends, and it's only when we were forced to look. I was forced to look, and I said, "That's it. I'm going to prove the globe. I'm going to prove the globe." And 2 weeks of nonstop, and I'm like, "Oh my god, the Earth is not a globe." But you could start there. So I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions, and don't think I'm picking on you.
That's great.
I'd love to pick on you, but I'm not picking on you. And I'm going to ask you questions that I did not know the answer to when people asked me. Okay. You're globe supporters, but right now I'm going to say your support of a globe is a religious belief. It's a religion.
No, it's not. It's nothing to do. I'm not religious.
No. I'm telling you, it's a religion.
All right. Okay.
It's based on it's based on faith, and we are programmed from little babies before we can talk into globes. And when we finally go to school, they have a globe in our class, and everything is globes and universal pictures and Sesame Street. There's astronauts on there. How fast is the Earth spinning at the equator?
Fast.
It's going over 1,000 miles per hour. That's like 1.5 times the speed of sound. Okay. So when you're watching the sunset, you believe that the sun is going down because you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. This is nonsense. Everything I'm going to tell you is nonsense, and it's going to go against common sense, but we have been indoctrinated into nonsense. Okay. So we're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. The Earth orbits the sun, or does the sun orbit the Earth?
The Earth orbits the sun.
Okay. So the Earth orbits the sun. Do you know how fast it's going?
35,000 miles per hour.
Great guess. 66,600 miles per hour. Interesting number, but that's how fast it's going. So fast, you can't even fathom. And then, as you can see in this illustration, the sun is flying through the galaxy at how fast?
Even faster.
Over 500,000 miles per hour. And then the entire galaxy is going sideways. I'm not even going to ask you, at 1.2 million miles per hour. Okay.
Right.
This is insanity. This is nuts. That's the first thing you have to believe in a glober, to be a glober. The second thing you have to believe is once there was nothing, it exploded and created everything. Okay. And let's just say that happened. I'm not even going to ask to explain how it happened. It just happened.
But what would the alternative be to that then, in terms of flat
Earth?
Good
answer. And the answer is, I don't know. What I'm going to show you is that the Earth is not from a random explosion. All right. And then we can we can figure out what that means from there. But after this explosion, gravity kind of pulls stuff together, and it made this rocky, muddy, watery planet. But other gravity just pulled hydrogen together and made a sun. That's so much hydrogen that it could hold on to the Earth with its magical gravity. Okay. But no rocks went into the sun, just hydrogen. Okay. This again is utter nonsense. Okay. So if you watch the sunrise, it comes across the sky and then it goes away and it appears to set. If you watch the moon rise, it does the same thing. It follows the same path. Okay. But we're told, and that they look to be about the same size, but that we're told that the sun is 400 times bigger and 400 times farther. That's why they look like they're the same size. I'm not doing the 666 symbol, by the way. And so the reason they look the same size and the reason they look like they take the same path, the moon is orbiting us, but we're orbiting the sun, but they both look like they take the same path and they're the same size. You know why? Because they do take the same path and they are the same size and they are within the Earth system.
Okay. Well, first of all, if you listen to, say, like the top scientists and all, if you listen to whatever they say,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
no. Well, if you want, but say even Brian Cox and Brian Greene, who are like two prominent ones. So if you're listening to them and believe what they say, right?
Yeah.
Where are they getting this information? Like, do you reckon they're getting it from government, or is there like an agenda for them to push?
Brian Cox, also known as Lying Box, Bill Nye, also known as Bill Lie, and Neil deGrasse Tyson are all actors. Bill Lie is a failed comedian. They're all actors. They're on the IMDb. They're listed as actors. They're just feeding you nonsense. Some of us argue, I think they believe what they're saying. You know, they're under a hypnosis, or, you know how you become a teacher? You are great at what? Thinking or memorizing and regurgitating? Memorizing and regurgitating. So they feed us nonsense. The ones that can memorize it the best and regurgitate it the best become the teachers. So many of them believe what they're saying. I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson knows damn well the Earth is flat. So does Bill Lie, and so does Lying Box. And they have said many times, the science is settled. We don't need to talk to flat earthers. Although they're obsessed with us. They respond to us. We make videos and stuff, and then they make counter videos against our stuff. When you look at their evidence, which they have zero, it's pathetic. It literally is pathetic. They lie. You know, as we go through this today, things are going to fall into three baskets. Works on a flat earth, works on a flat earth and a ball earth, like circumnavigation works on a flat earth and a ball earth. Or at least part of it does. And then works only on a ball earth. And what you're going to find in that third basket, there's nothing but lies, mathematical equations, and nonsense. Okay. So we'll go through. And by the way, I had the same look on my face as you guys did. And I had the same beliefs and everything. And it's not easy to let go of your heliocentric belief. But again, what's the number one reason? And an appeal to authority is not a reason. It's not a legitimate reason. What's your number one reason you think the Earth is a globe?
Well, the fact that you can, I find one of the main things that I just struggle to get my head around is the edge. I mean, if the Earth was flat, explain the edge.
Yes. Perfect. So we live what I call in the Antarctic basin. So what does that mean? Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Did you learn that in school? Excuse me. Did you learn that in school?
Everest, I believe we learned in school.
Yeah. Well, the highest land, the highest continent, the highest land on Earth is Antarctica. Okay. So
by average above sea level, you mean?
Yeah, it's the highest land above sea level. Okay. Antarctica is the highest land. When you get there, there's like a 200 to 1,000 foot high cliff of ice. And then there's an ice plain. And then there's mountains that are higher than Everest. They don't teach you that in school. Okay. All of this is off limits, by the way. We can get into that in a little bit. But so think of the world, all of the oceans as one big pond. Okay. A big circular pond. All right. I'm going to actually, can I share? Can you guys enable screen sharing? You know how to do that?
I think I can. Yeah. Share. Do we share screen button?
There's no, you have to go to enable it for the other listeners. I should have, it's pretty easy. I don't know how to do it, but everyone seems to be able to figure it out.
Let me just see.
Press the arrow under the button.
Yeah. So while you're trying to figure that out, I'll explain. So
multiple
imagine a huge lake. with islands all around the lake. You with me?
Yeah.
At the center of the lake is a magnetic pole or a mountain or whatever. And that's the center. Okay. And so if you get a compass, it's going to point towards that magnetic center, right? So this is the North Pole in the middle of the flat Earth, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I want to, my compass is going to point to it. If I want to go west is not a straight line. West is, here we go. Beautiful. You did it. Yeah. So you guys can see this?
Yeah. This is from the app.
Yeah, this is from the app. Yeah. So this is just a good way to demonstrate.
Do you want to plug the app just while we're here?
What's that?
Do you want to plug the app? It's what's it called?
It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. But let me just show you. And by the way, look at the featured video of the day. Bill Nye, the lying guy. So I'm going to turn on the compass and go on compass. So there's the compass, and west is a circle around the center. Does this prove the Earth is flat? Absolutely not, because it's the same on a ball Earth. It's the same on a flat Earth. So the sun goes around once every 24 hours, pinned to the hour hand, and it's going west. That's why it rises in the east, sets in the west. It's just going around in a circle. If I got in an airplane from Mexico and I went west, I'm going 270 degrees. I'm going over, I'm in Japan, go over China, around Africa, and I'm staying the same heading. I think I'm flying in a straight line, but I went in a circle and I circumnavigated. I can circumnavigate west. I can circumnavigate east, and I've circumnavigated the world. I can even go from South America or wherever I'm going north. As soon as I pass the North Pole, I'm now going south. Boom, I'm in Japan. I went in a straight line. I went north and then I'm going south. That doesn't prove it either. That works on both. It works on a ball Earth. It works on a flat Earth. What doesn't work on a flat Earth is going south. And south is any direction away from north. Any direction away from north is south. So if I went from the North Pole down to South America and down on a ball, I should be able to pop up over here and be in Australia. But I can't. No one's ever done it. No one's ever circumnavigated to the south. No one's ever gone south and come back up the other side, ever. Now you'll say, well, wait a minute. Some people in Antarctica did it. And here's the path that some of them took. I think the guy, Colin O'Brady, he started somewhere in America. He went down to South America. He went to Antarctica. He went out a little ways on Antarctica. He turned around, went up through South America again, went all the way up to the north, around the North Pole, and back down to America. And they called that circumnavigation. Nobody has ever gone down and popped out the other side. Do you know why?
I don't.
Yes, you know why. Come on.
Because the Earth is
flat. You can't do it.
So if the Earth's flat, then what's underneath?
Okay, good question. And by the way, all of those questions, if I hit the question mark, up come all of the top questions, and they why the lie? Where's the edge? If I click where's the edge, up comes a video, a whole playlist of videos about where's the edge. So that's all of those stuff are in there. And the reason that I made this app is because YouTube and Google are hiding flat Earth information. So your question was, what's underneath the flat Earth?
What's underneath? Yeah. So
the deepest hole ever dug, flat Earth or globe Earth, doesn't matter. The deepest hole ever dug is in Russia, and it's called something like the Great Borehole. And it went, they got down just short of 8 miles. We'll call it 8 miles. And they hit an impenetrable barrier. They drilled with diamond drills, they tried everything for years and could not get through this impenetrable barrier. No technology can get through it. The other thing is, while they were digging, they were using ground penetrating radar, all sorts of technology to see what they were going to be digging into next. And guess what? They were wrong every step of the way. It's just garbage. They can maybe see a rock that's 5 feet down, but anything below that, they were wrong every step of the way. All right, we're past water. Oh, they found more water. Up, we're past this. They found more, whatever it is. They were wrong every step of the way. That's equivalent. If the earth was an apple, they dug about halfway through the skin of the apple. And they were wrong on what they were digging into every step of the way. But somehow they know what's in the center of the earth. We've all seen that core, that cross section of the earth. Shows all the layers, shows the center. That's pseudoscience. That's made up nonsense because they couldn't even tell you what was in the skin. And now they know what's in the middle. So what's underneath the flat earth? I have no idea. And neither does anybody.
But volcano, so say whatever volcanoes spew, where does that come from then? If it's
so here's one that I really had a hard time wrapping my mind around. There's no such thing as a volcano, a triangular shaped mountain that spews lava out of the top. They don't exist. Okay. There is lava in Hawaii, lava everywhere. And it comes from these lava tubes. Now, are those lava tubes getting the lava from higher than 8 miles down or below? I don't know. There's lots of speculation, but nobody can go there. No globe people don't know. And neither do flat earth people. So there's a guy named Joey Rocha out of Hawaii, who's I would say he's probably one of the leading experts on what lava tubes are and where they come from. So if anybody wants to follow him and ask him, he's good on that. But again, we don't know. And again, through this discussion, we're going to be talking about things in the sky and things beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. We got to get back to Antarctica. Those are all off limits. So anything we talk about there is speculation. All right. So we were talking about Antarctica a minute ago. So I was making my analogy. You got the lake, you can circumnavigate east and west, but if you go to the edge of the lake, can you fall off the earth? No, you can't fall off the lake. You all of a sudden you hit the land, and what's on that land? I don't know. It's off limits. Nobody is allowed to go to Antarctica. Think about this. In 1957, Admiral Byrd did an exploration of Antarctica. He flew outwards. He flew south. And he said there's land bigger than the United States, never touched by humans, with all sorts of resources on it. Then he came back and they started the Antarctic Treaty in 1957. Like 50 some odd countries signed on, and we have to protect Antarctica for environmental reasons. We have to protect the penguins and we have to protect the ice. That's all that's down there, penguins and ice. Okay. Nobody can drop a cigarette because that would pollute the only pristine, ice on the planet, right? That treaty cannot even be questioned until the year 2043. No person, no organized country, no oil company, nobody can even petition it until the year 2043 in the name of environmentalism, when environmentalism never even existed back then. And Russia, all of these countries that we're supposedly at war with, they all signed on. It's still in effect today, but we can deforest the Amazon jungle, cut down old growth rainforests, and plant palm oil trees without a problem. Okay. Something seemed a little suspicious there.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But what do you think? What do you think the reason is for
Antarctica?
Yeah, just for them not letting anyone right now then.
So if you look at this image behind me, we don't have a model of what the flat earth is. We just know that it's not a globe. And the flat earth map, which is the same as the UN logo, interesting. It works well for navigation. It's the closest thing that we have. There might be some minor corrections that need to be made to it, but we believe that there's a dome separating us from the waters above and the waters below. Okay. I'm not a religious person at all. Matter of fact, I used to listen to people and they're great stuff, great taking notes. And then they'd mention the Bible or the Quran, and I would throw out the piece of paper and unsubscribe, and I wouldn't listen to them anymore. Okay. But at the end of this, when I finally threw in the towel and I said, holy crap, the earth is not a globe. It's intelligently designed. There's a creator. All right. Who's the creator? You want to know?
Go on then.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I can speculate. I have my beliefs, but they're beliefs based on the best evidence I could find. But again, there's certain things that we don't know the answer to. What I do know is It's intelligently designed. We are the center of creation. Okay. There's things, and I've proven it to myself, but that, they don't want us to know that we can do. They don't want us to know who we are, where we are, what we are. They want us to believe that we're spinning out of control, lost in space, and there's trillions of others of places just like this, and that there's no God. Okay. That there's no creator. I don't want to use the word God because it triggers too many people. A creator. This place was intelligently designed. By who? I don't know. Maybe it was friggin' computer programmer. I don't know.
Simulation theory.
Simulation theory.
Yeah. So again, I used to laugh at simulation theory, but I believe that we are having a physical experience here. I don't believe it's a simulation. I believe, we're matter. And I believe our mission here is to stay in control of our soul. Our soul is the life force in us. And I believe we have a main soul and other souls too. And that our goal here is just to remain in control of our soul. And there's rules on this plane. And the rules are very simple. Don't get in anyone's face. Don't kill them. Don't steal from them. It's natural law. Don't violate anyone else's natural law, and no one will violate yours. The rules that the elite know, the evil elite, that's too nice of a word for them. They know that they have to tell us what they're doing, because if they kind of tell us in their secret, way, through movies and through just things that they say, and we're too stupid to say no, that's saying yes. Okay. If we don't say no, we're saying yes. And so they tell us everything that they're doing. And once you wake up to this reality, which really is out there for somebody that's never thought about it before, it'll prove itself true to you, because it's proved itself true to me. I mean, my life, I have an amazing story in my life. How, I just wanted to be successful. I worked for a corporation, and then that company sold. And I said, I was like, I wanted to start my own company. I actually thought, I was like, God, I wish I could start my own company, but I have no idea how to start my own company. And then the company sold off, was bought out, and they shut down my division. So I started my own company. And all of a sudden I have my own company. And I was like, I want to make more money and work less. And this happened. I have my own company. I didn't have to work as much as I used to, and I'm making more money. And then finally, when I had everything I wanted, this came around, jumping fast forward, where I realized I need to do this. And I dumped the whole thing. I dumped it. I left all the money on the table, and I came here to do this. And it's like something that I never thought of, but it's what I asked for. I asked for the ability to make a living doing what I love, helping other people. This is the purpose of what we're here for. We're all here to support each other and live our best lives. But the elite don't want that. They want to separate us. What they do is divide and conquer. You've heard that, right? They divide us by countries. They divide us by races. They divide us by political parties. They divide us by sports teams. They divide us by truthers versus non-truthers, vaxxers versus non-vaxxers. They divide us in every way possible, because God forbid people wake up to the truth and realize that we're all on the same team. Okay. Crazy, man. Let's get back to why you think you live on a ball. All right. Oh, did we finish with Antarctica? Oh, what? So the edge.
Yeah.
So you got the Antarctic Treaty, which says you can't take anything below the 60th parallel. So the 60th parallel is, let me share that again. The 60th parallel is, so if you look, these yellow lines, this center line is the Tropic of Cancer. When the sun is over that, it's the northern summer. And when the sun is out here, where it's on its way to now, 6 months later, excuse me, that's the Tropic of Capricorn. And it's the outer southern lands summer, because the sun is closer to them and it's farther from us. I think you guys are in the north, right? Where are you guys located?
Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Okay, so it's getting cold there, right?
Yeah.
So around here, about halfway out, is the 60th line of latitude. The Antarctic Treaty says no boat can go out there with any fuel. At no fuel is allowed to go beyond that point. You still have hundreds of miles before you get to this ice shore where it's dark and cold and the GPS doesn't work and compasses don't work. And you really can't explore there. And if you start going out, how far are you going to go? When are you going to turn around? How are you going to even know where you are? Okay. If they let you, but they won't let you. I believe that, a couple hundred miles out, there's the mountains connect to the dome and you can't go any farther. I think it could be an endless plain. Again, this is me, not every flat earther. Again, we're beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, so it's speculation from this point. There's lots of reports of experiments being done with a thing they call sky ice. It's this blue ice that's super cold. It's the color of the sky. I think they're drilling it out of the side of the dome or the mountain or whatever it is. And they can't even transport it anywhere outside of Antarctica because it just disappears. It doesn't melt. It just shrinks until it's gone, but they can't keep it cold enough to transport it anywhere. So that's fascinating in itself.
So you mentioned the dome there. Dome of what?
The dome of, the world is created. And again, I'm not a Bible guy, but my co-host, Matt Long, from the Flat Earth Podcast, he's a Bible guy. And in Genesis, the first page of the Bible, I believe, it says God separated the waters from the waters when he created the earth. So if you look up, if you listen to what NASA talks about, everything they talk about in the sky, in space, is nautical terms. Like, that's interesting. By the way, no one's ever going to space. It's all nonsense. Space doesn't exist.
Yeah. So Neil Armstrong, is it Neil?
So
Armstrong?
wait a minute, hold on. Neil Armstrong, liar. Okay. So there was a rocket called the Go Fast rocket. It was an amateurs in the desert in Arizona, I believe, or New Mexico. I think it was Arizona. That was rocket. It was probably, like 30 feet tall and, this big around. And they shot it up. It was the highest amateur rocket ever shot. Unlike NASA, whose rockets go like this and crash in the ocean when they're out of sight, this one went straight up. It was spinning around. It had cameras looking down, cameras looking out. And all of a sudden it went kerplunk, like it went into water. And then all of a sudden it was floating and it's turning slowly and it could see the moon. Well, the moon was over Australia at that time and it could see the moon. That's impossible on the globe. Right. So Arizona is, I can't see it on this map. Right. Or can I? I can't see it. But, and it's the reason they could see it is it was up high enough and it could see the moon over Australia. That's impossible on a ball.
So there was another thing you mentioned about the horizon.
The horizon.
Like, obviously that's something that everyone mentions whenever talk, like the Earth's curvature.
Yeah.
You got that ready?
So on a ball, the horizon should drop off at an ever increasing rate. So if you're on a ball and you're going outwards, it should drop off faster and faster because it's getting steeper and steeper, right? Makes sense. All balls have curvature. The curvature formula that they give us, science gives us, is 8 inches per mile squared. It's not that crazy. 8 inches the first mile. The second one is 2 inches. 2 times 2 times 2 is 4 times 8, 32 inches. At 3 miles, it's a 6-foot drop, according to mainstream science. Okay. So a 6-foot tall man standing at the edge of a calm ocean or a body of water should only be able to see the surface of the water for 3 miles. And then it's going to drop below the curvature. Okay.
Yeah.
So the problem is we can set a camera up at 1 foot off the ground, which the curvature should be, I think, like 1.9 miles, but we'll round up, call it 2 miles. And we could see windmills, wind turbines, and oil rigs that are 10, 15, 20 miles away. Not only can we see the turbines, see them, we can see the water surface beyond them, where they should be 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet below the curvature, but we can see the water. And we can also see land farther than that away. That should be miles below, at least a mile below the curvature, right? And all of this is using science, using math, using observations, okay? So there's no curvature. Water lays flat so does the Earth. All right. Remember at the beginning I was playing that the spinning, the twirling and whirling of our incredible solar system, right? Right. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. It is traveling 66,000 miles around the curvature, right? Chasing the sun while moving sideways. And by the way, curvature, when people always say curvature is acceleration. So people say, how come when I'm on an airplane, I can drink a glass of water and I could walk to the bathroom, right? So I say to them, well, if you really want to compare that to the Earth, first, double the speed of the airplane, make it nose down 5 miles every minute, okay, to keep level with the curve of the Earth, and remove the outer shell of the airplane. Let me know how that water is, and if you make it to the bathroom, okay? Because on the globe, there's no shell around us. It's spinning that fast. It's absolutely ridiculous. But with all of those motions, we have this and this, right? You ever see a lake like that mirroring, and if you went next to that lake and tapped your foot on the shore, what's going to happen? Ripples are going to go flying across that lake, okay? We're twirling and swirling and zooming and curving at speeds that are unfathomable, okay? We're dropping at like 4 or 5 miles a minute, okay? According to the globe. And we have that.
But that's the mass of Earth holding us onto it. What do people say about that? Or what if it's not the mass of a globe holding us on to Earth, then what is it if it's a flat Earth?
That's a good question. So we're told that gravity is holding us down. Okay. Gravity is just a theory. It's never been proven. And as a matter of fact, you ever hear of dark matter? They need 96% dark matter, which has never been seen. It's only been like, the gravity equation isn't working. There's got to be something else. Like, 96% of gravity is dark matter. Oh, now the equation kind of works. So if I owed you $100 and I gave you 4 and I said the rest are dark dollars, would you go, thank you for the 100? You would say, you're full of shit. It's a bunch of, it's nonsense. Okay. That's what they have us believing. So let's talk about gravity. What's holding us to the Earth? Why don't we float away? Gravity is what they need to make, that's their God. That's their G, their God. And what was I going to say is you have to believe. All right. So jumping backwards a little bit, the second law of thermodynamics is you can't have high pressure next to low pressure or a vacuum, which is no pressure, without a physical barrier. Like if I had a bottle and I sucked all the air out of it and put the top on it, turned it upside down, I have a vacuum or a low pressure system in that bottle, right? I can't get all the air out of it because the bottle would just implode. So I have a low pressure system. If I opened it up, would it suck the air up into it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I did that at 10,000 feet, would it suck air up into it? Answer is absolutely. If I stuck the nose of it underwater and opened it in the water, would it suck the water up away? Of course. You can do it yourself. This is, if you're not sure, do it, because you'll see. If you drink through a straw, if you just make a light vacuum in your mouth, just a light low pressure, it's going to suck the water right up and away. So the weak vacuum of your lungs can pull air and water up and away from gravity, but the super vacuum of space can't rip all of the air off of the Earth. That makes no sense. It breaks every law of thermodynamics. It breaks the second law of thermodynamics, and it's never been able to be proven at any altitude in any experiment where you could have high pressure next to low pressure. That's the beginning. Check this out. So if you think about it, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour on the surface. It has to hold on to all of that air. The gravity has to hold on to all that air and spin it with it. So that gravity, that air that's up here, has to be going faster than 1,000 miles an hour just to keep up with the Earth, right? Because it's making a bigger circle than the circle of the Earth is. You with me?
That just does that not
so
just
the
involve
Earth is
the
turning at
atmosphere
1,000 miles an hour, right? So 1,000 miles an hour is the surface of the Earth right here. Okay, this is the equator going 1,000 miles an hour. Are you with me?
Yeah.
All right. But if I had something that's up here and it has to go around, it's making a bigger circle, right? So it has to be going faster than 1,000 miles an hour just to keep up with the turning of the Earth, right? If I'm confusing you,
No, I understand. Like if it's going around the outside, it should be going faster. But is that not? If it's inside the Earth's atmosphere, then surely it's part of the same movement. So it doesn't.
Right. So
faster, it's the same speed.
Yeah.
If it's all part of one atmosphere, then would it not be?
So that's what you have to believe, right? But a summer breeze can blow the wind left and blow the wind right and blow it up and down, but gravity somehow magically holding it on. So I'm going to go right here. This is a real-time map of wind currents. I'm going to go to 40,000 feet. So this right here is these white and pink winds here are going 200 to 300 miles an hour. Very nice organized circle. This is what they're doing right now. Okay. Unfortunately, this is going eastward. If the Earth is a globe, this is going east, which means the Earth is spinning, but those winds are outrunning the Earth. They're not lagging behind, which you think they would. They're outrunning the Earth by 200 to 300 miles an hour. Okay. Right. Outrunning the Earth. Wrap your minds around that. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay. And look at this. You know how they show us the jet streams go they go up and they go down to south of, they go up and around the Earth. If you look at the jet stream, on a flat Earth versus a globe Earth, it's a totally different story. So you would have to believe, if I can find it, here we go. You'd have to believe that, this is how the jet stream goes, for how they tell us it goes, right? But you convert this to a flat Earth map. This is the same thing. Okay. So this crazy thing miraculously just turns into a beautiful circle. Okay. Or this circle thing, when you convert it to a globe, turns into this nonsense. Common sense, nonsense.
If there was winds going around the edge of the Earth, the edge of a flat Earth that are at that speed, maybe that would be why you're not allowed to go to Antarctica, because you just couldn't get there via plane.
That's at 40,000 feet. It's much less than the surface. These are consistent winds that, when people do the flight from Santiago, Chile to Auckland, Australia, the planes will go and catch this 300 mile an hour tailwind. And that's how they can make the trip in a reasonable amount of time. And it's also why that southern trip looks has huge variations in their arrival time. Sometimes as much as 5 hours, and that's because the winds didn't cooperate that day.
What about if it's going the other way then?
Well, then they go the other way. They can
the
go
whole way around.
They can go this way around, or they can go this way around. It doesn't. It's almost the same distance. Sometimes they'll even cut through. Most of the times that flight is canceled. Lots of times it's canceled. Let's talk about southern plane routes. I'm going to step out of the way here. So if you want to go from South America, Santiago, Chile to Australia, okay? Santiago, Chile to Australia over here. They go all the way up, right? It's hard to do this. All the way up. They cross over, right? This way. And then they go all the way back down. Now that's crazy. They should either just fly underneath the ball across Antarctica, or just stay at the 55th parallel and go across the bottom part of the ball, right? It's about a third of the distance, right? On a globe, Australia and South America are right next to each other near the bottom, right? You could just go around or underneath, but they don't. They go all the way up here. But if we convert this to a flat Earth, this exact plane route, look at that. It's a straight line.
But that would mean they cross over. Where's that going? Straight. So that would be North America there.
Yep. That's a straight line. They go, it's literally a straight line. That's why they go. So here, this is directions going north, 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 east, 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 south, 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 south.
That's the whole way. That would be the whole way across the world. Like them two countries.
That's the
so say from
longest flight in the
Santiago,
world. The longest flight in the world.
that looks like the longest flight possible. Whereas
is.
the one from North America to Australia,
It's the same one.
yeah, I know, but that's like
They have
different on the
direct
map.
flights, by the way. They have. This is a. Well, by the way, this is a multi-stop flights, but they have direct ones, and I believe that those direct ones go this way in those wind currents. And there's only a couple of planes that there's only a couple of planes. There's only a couple of pilots and one specific plane model that does that route. And that plane has like 7 coats of heat resistant paint. There's only a couple of military pilots that fly it. So to me, that says that plane goes faster than they're telling us. Okay. Maybe it goes 600, 700 miles an hour. Put 300-mile-an-hour tailwind on that. You're going almost 1,000 miles an hour. And these flights make perfect sense as far as the amount of time it takes to get there.
There would be a sonic boom.
Let's move on to space. You want to go to space?
Yeah, dude.
Please.
So, do you guys believe in the space shuttle? I mean, the International Space
ISS.
Station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I showed you them faking gravity in space, and no gravity in space, just once, that would be enough to say, okay, all of NASA unwinds. But we could show you 1,000 times them hands passing through people's faces, right? Because it's all done in green screen rooms. These guys aren't even in the same room sometimes, where he'll pass them something and it's virtual reality, and the guy will miss it and then put it on a shelf, but he never grabbed it. Okay.
Yeah.
The times where astronauts will fade in and fade out. Okay. Where they have technological glitches. Now, are these done on purpose or are they just accidents? I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both, but either way, they're faking it. Nobody's on the International Space Station. We can get into that in a second. See this here? What's wrong with this picture? Does this Earth look like it has enough curve?
No.
It depends.
Okay. I mean, does this solar panel look like it's straight, or does it maybe seeing a fisheye lens? Hard to say, right? But this is the nonsense that they will give us, right? And NASA's budget is $65 million every single day of every year, okay? Without a day off, right? Unfortunately, my budget's $0, and I did this. I took a picture that was taken in a swimming pool, okay? It's taken in a swimming pool. Now, do you know that where NASA has what's called the National Buoyancy Laboratory? It's where they have a giant pool with a space station in it, and they do all their training in there, swimming pools. We watch spacewalks when they film them, and lots of times you'll see little bubbles come out of the side of their suit or out of a corner, little bubbles in space. We've even confronted astronauts about bubbles in space. And their answers are, oh, it's flecks of paint, oh, it's this, it's that. They're bubbles because they're doing everything in a pool.
I think they could be producing propaganda videos or something in pools, but still be going to the International Space Station.
Just faking
that
the
is
videos.
a weak argument, my friend.
But you don't think they could?
They can't,
because it would surely be harder to video at the International Space Station than the video in a pool at NASA.
No. They're showing us spacewalks. They go out on these. By the way, the International Space Station is the most technological building thing ever built in the history of mankind. It was built in space. Okay, there's 0 videos of it being built. You have to think Mission Control would need dozens of cameras all the time while they were putting it together. There's zero videos of it being built. This should be the most filmed construction project ever. Also, if you look at the spacewalks where they have to go out and fix something, do submarines have all of their sensitive electronics on the outside of the submarine? No, there's nothing on the outside. But the space station has everything on the outside. These guys go out there for these 8-hour spacewalks. They have a wrench and a drill gun, and all they have to do is like loosen one nut, where it's always like one bolt, one nut, and they could barely do it. And it's nonsense. They're in a swimming pool when they do it. It's utter nonsense.
Have you ever seen Interstellar?
Ready? I'm on the space station. and I have one of those green bodysuits, right? So I did this where my girlfriend was sitting here and she's floating in space station, and then I'm carrying things. And I'm going like, woo, and you can't see me because I'm in a green suit. And then she'll go like this, and it'll float away. And I did that with a $24 budget. Okay. Yeah. $24, and I suck. Right. So this is the space station. It's ridiculous. Okay. It's totally ridiculous.
So if NASA was to be lying about the International Space Station, how many people would you say are involved in the flat Earth conspiracy, from very top to last person who knows, NDA sort of thing?
4. No, I don't know. Listen, so NASA is done in compartmentalization. Okay. When they did the moon landing, the Apollo, the rocket, the Saturn V rocket, NASA had to sub out and get all the parts. You need this and that. And so instead of subbing out to 10, 15, 20 different companies, they subbed out to over 100,000 different companies. This guy made a hinge. This guy made a cushion. This guy made a meter. This guy made an airlock, whatever. And so so it was basically a jobs program. And this way everyone can say, my uncle, my grandfather worked on the Saturn V rocket. Is he a liar? No, he's not a liar. He made the part, he sent it to NASA, and then he watched the cartoon go into space. Okay. It's all nonsense. It's all for the deception is there's a big reason. We'll get into that at the end. But if you guys can see this thing, look up a high resolution image of the lunar lander, and it's literally made from tinfoil, paper mache, cardboard, duct tape, and curtain rods. Okay. It's a piece of garbage. You have to believe that 2 astronauts in their bulky suits, which, by the way, take 4 guys on the ground to be able to get them in it and buckle it all up. 2 guys were able to get themselves all dressed up in there. There was a car in there, a dune buggy, and golf clubs, okay? And they were able to get down there, drive around, play golf, right? Do some stuff. I mean, look at this thing. This thing it's made by the Little Rascals. You guys know what the Little Rascals are?
No.
Little Rascals it was an old TV show where just these little kids, and they would build things that, they would just, when you were a kid, you ever build a tree fort? This is a fucking tweaker shelter, a homeless tweaker shelter. Right. So wait a minute. NASA admits that there's no photos of Earth. NASA admits that. Okay. Here's 2 images of Earth that they say that they did. The one with 2002, one with 2012. Okay. This one here, the United States is half the size of here, but it's worse than that. Okay. Because this one is, see how my 4 fingers are taking up this much space, right? Yeah. This much space, right? But if I tilted it back, oh, look at that. It's even less. So this one, even though it looks bigger, it should be even bigger, because if you rotated it forward, it would get even bigger. This is a cartoon. This is a cartoon. This is a cartoon. And if you get into it even further, if you look at the blue marble, which was the one that was on everyone's iPhone, Robert Simmons, a NASA artist, admitted how he made it in Photoshop. Okay. And if you look at these clouds, these are the same clouds. Everything in these boxes, they're the same clouds. They're stepped and repeated. They're stepped and repeated. And there's other ones, entire cloud systems that are on different shots of Earth taken in different years. They use the same friggin' clouds. They're horrible. They're horrible. So NASA admits they have no photos of Earth, but they have photos of every other planet. Okay. Is that insane? So if you Google photo of Pluto, the latest photo of Pluto is this. Okay. This is the photo of Pluto. Look at that shape. Look at that. That is fucking Pluto. All right. And do you know that Disney's Pluto and the planet Pluto were created and discovered the same year? But they were both created because neither one of them is real. This is an official photo from NASA.
I don't think that could be a wee bit far-fetched, though.
What's far-fetched?
That they would put the fucking cartoon in the...
Dude, so this is it. They're mocking us. They're mocking us. I challenge you guys after this. I can't pull up the video right now. Look up the Blue Origin space flight they just did. It is utter nonsense. It is such garbage. It looks like a giant penis flying through the air, and they even jerk it. It's like jerking up and down the whole time. And talk about mockery. You know, I'll pull it up if you want to watch it. It would be insane. But you remember when Tesla sent his Tesla Roadster into space?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty epic, right?
Yeah.
Right? Did you see it? No, you didn't see it, right? You didn't watch it. You just believed it. You just believed it because you're religious, okay? Right? But think about this. Here's the friggin' Tesla in space. It's not up as high as the space station, but the Earth looks like a globe like that already. During this shit thing, we watched the Earth shift. It glitched, and the car didn't glitch. But think about this. You're Elon Musk. You're the CEO of Tesla cars. You're the CEO of Tesla solar panels. You're the CEO of the largest tunneling company. You're the CEO of what else is he a CEO of? I don't know.
Neuralink and
PayPal.
Yeah, Neuralink, brain interface. Bullshit. The guy is a puppet moron that does nothing. He's just a puppet of the elite. He knows nothing. So when at the press conference of this nonsense, he said, quote, "You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. We would have better CGI." That's what he said. Okay. They're mocking us. Okay. But here's the question. You're the president. You've got car dealerships all over the world selling these Tesla cars. Don't you think there'd be a poster of this in every one of those? Don't you think this would be on the cover of Time Magazine, National Geographic, People, whatever magazines you guys have over there? Don't you think this would be featured everywhere? It was on 0 magazine covers. It was in 0 newspapers, I believe. There's no posters of it anywhere in any Tesla dealership ever. Okay.
But if they,
yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what I wanted to see.
I haven't been to a Tesla dealership to check if it is there or not.
None of them have them. Not a single one
But
has
you know,
it. I even talked to the
maybe
guys
they just
there.
don't. They just feel so secure in the fact that it went up. They don't feel the need to put a poster in Tesla dealership. Like,
get real.
Like it is what it is.
It's the greatest marketing ever. It's the
it's
greatest
been up
marketing.
and it's been down.
Listen, if that, my car was in space, I want that sticker on my car. Get the heck out of here. You are a globe apologist, right? And by the way, I used to be you. Trust me.
Do you think NASA have lied the whole way through their whole existence?
Absolutely.
I mean, from like the whole way from prior Operation Paperclip.
So NASA was the whole Operation Paperclip. All of that is just all bullshit. In 1957, when they put the Antarctic Treaty up, they also did the Van Allen radiation belt. So they put a fence around us that we don't know is there, and they put a fence over us that we can't get through. Okay, but somehow we went through it to the moon and back, but now we can't get through it. It's utter nonsense. Okay, where are they going with this? Our optics have outgrown their lives. We have super zoom cameras now that we can zoom in on things that, well, a boat that went over the horizon, it's gone. It went over the curve. We could zoom in and bring it back again. Okay. So that it has to do with the angular resolution limits of our eyes, but we can take the original picture of Saturn that's in every friggin' textbook, put it into Photoshop, crank up the levels, and you guys can see it's all put together in different pieces. But they didn't expect us to be able to do this when they made this in what was the date? I can't see the date there because it's backwards for me.
1982.
Yeah. So they didn't know that we'd be able to reverse engineer this stuff. We took pictures, the picture of the Earth from the moon. We put that in Photoshop, cranked down the levels, and there's a box around the Earth. A box. Okay. They didn't even bother making a PNG out of the Earth and dropping it in there, taking the edges out. They left the friggin' box.
I could just be that one photo.
No, it's look at you. You are a religious zealot, my friend.
So like,
this is NASA. Look at their friggin' logo. It's a snake tongue.
dude, I wasn't planning on doing like full video for this, but I'm gonna have to. Like, I'm just gonna have to post this. This is,
Yeah.
It would be losing too much without the full video. The audio isn't enough. This is.
I forgot that this is for audio.
Nah, this is going full video.
Put this on the podcast and just put a link to the video so people can hear it, and then they go back and watch it again and get double flat smack.
But talking about the elite, so say Elon Musk is controlled by the elite. What is their benefit of pretending that a car went to space whenever there is no space, or
so
that car never was
part of
there?
the thing is mockery. So we'll get into why the lie. Why did we go? We went to the moon to prove that we can live on a ball, to show us that they're, get our dreams in outer space. And the truth is, as I started to say in the beginning, we are the center of creation. Okay. We are not a random speck lost in space. This place was created for us. And we are powerful beings having a physical experience. Our souls are having a physical experience here. And our only job here is to maintain control of our soul. But if you sell your soul to the devil or whatever, to evil, like a lot of people do for fame and fortune, people in Hollywood, they've all sold their souls and they've lost control. And so what happens to them later? I don't know. Maybe they have to come back and do it again. I don't know the answer to that. But if everybody woke up to the flat earth, my life has changed tremendously for the better. Okay. I thought I had it all. I didn't have anything. Right. And my life has changed for the better. I realized that the elite have no control over me. They really can't get me to do anything unless they trick me into doing it. They trick me into giving up my power. So if you believe you're lost in space, an asteroid could hit, let's like it took out the dinosaurs, by the way, that never existed, and that a nuclear bomb is going to blow us up at any moment. Okay. And that we're running out of oil. We're not. All the empty oil wells are full again. Okay. And that there's global warming and the oceans are going to rise. They haven't risen 57 years that I've been here. I live in the same friggin' place and the water goes up to the same rocks at the same place for 57 friggin' years. Okay. If you believe all of that, you give away your power. You live in fear and you give away your power, and then they can do whatever they want with you. You become their slaves. We live in a slave system. Okay. How many people wake up Monday morning going, oh, fuck, I got to go to work, right? They're giving the most of their life away to something they friggin' hate. Okay. My life has changed. I'm doing what I love. I'm helping people. I'm expanding knowledge. I'm having a great time with you two. This is my job. This is the greatest thing ever. Okay. And I had no idea that I could get to here. Right. But when I realized I am this powerful being, that here's what they don't want you to know, that your thoughts create your reality. Oh, okay. I want $1 million. I'm going to think of $1 million. Where's the $1 million? And what you're saying right there is, I don't have $1 million. I'm never going to have $1 million. And you're never going to have $1 million. It doesn't work that way. What it works is when you set your intention and you allow this magical place, possibly a simulation, to deliver whatever it is you want, it comes. And you guys have experienced this in your life. Like, you imagined having this podcast and you made it happen. It just happened, right? Because you knew it was going to happen. Do you own a car? Do you have a car?
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
Okay. And you manifested that car. Every single thing you have was a thought first. Every single thing that's created was a thought first. Everyone thinks into their reality. Now, you can't just sit on the couch, hold a beer, put your feet up and think your way through life. It doesn't work that way. You have to think and then take action. And life is amazing. Life is magical. And they don't want you to know that. Here's the thing. I go to these flat Earth conferences. I got one coming up on the 24th in a couple of days in October. And we have hundreds of people that are awake to flat Earth. And the people that are awake to flat Earth see through all of the other deceptions. We're all best friends immediately, right? And no matter what our race, religion, color, doesn't matter. There's no division. If everyone woke up tomorrow morning, if Justin Bieber tweeted, the earth is flat, get this app because it'll teach you about that, that would change the friggin' world. He has 140 million Instagram followers. That would cause an avalanche that would change the world. The elite don't want that to happen, because if everyone woke up to the flat earth, all of a sudden they would unite and they'd be done. We are the many, they are the few, and people are morons.
So basically, if everyone, or if the majority of people decided that the earth was flat or came around to the idea, the world would be less divisive. Do you think that's
the world? Totally.
That's why they try and push the globe agenda, is that's because I feel like that's a big question that a lot of like people who believe in globe earth like us, like one of the main you'd be skeptical of the idea. Why would anyone bother to try and convince everyone that the earth is a globe when it's flat? Like, just say it's flat.
Because of control. Because if you knew that there's more, maybe there's more continents out there. Maybe there's other civilizations, extraterrestrial, territory is land, extra land. So people from extra lands, they don't come from billions of miles away, come here, crash in Roswell. And that's nonsense. They're coming from beyond Antarctica, or maybe even in the north. We don't know.
Do you think Area 51 is a crash site for beyond Antarctica and not beyond planet Earth or anything?
No, I think there's probably just a secret propulsion program going on there, because burning fossil fuels is nonsense. We don't need that for energy. Free energy exists, and there's other forms of anti-gravitic or anti-electromagnetic propulsion. Oh, we never finished gravity, by the way. Let's jump back there. So gravity has never been proven. They can't model a 3-body prod in a computer. They can have, okay, the sun has this much gravity, Earth has this much gravity, model it, and it models it. But then you add a third thing in there with gravity, the model falls apart. But meanwhile, our solar system has like 80 friggin' objects in it, with all the suns and with all the moons and planets. And that's all held down by gravity. But, Jupiter's gravity never tugs the moon or us out of orbit a little bit. Everything's exactly the same, with all of those motions and the fact that we travel billions of miles every year in the helio-nonsensical model. You go out on the same night a year ago or 10 years ago, and the stars are in the exact same place. That tells you that they're fixed in position and they're rotating above us. Not that they wouldn't be the same from night to night. Okay. So think about this. I'm going to give you guys a little experiment. They tell us the sun is how far away? You don't know. 93 million miles away. Okay. 93 million miles away. Okay. That's insane. Right. So the sun is one of those big yoga balls, right? The big yoga balls.
There's Earth.
That's Earth. No, that's not Earth. That's the sun. I'm sorry. I'm making a scale model, and the Earth is what? A BB or a marble?
We'll say a bouncy ball.
Okay, so it's a little bouncy ball, right?
Yeah.
So imagine you're on that little bouncy ball, and the sun is just a couple inches over your head. So you're in a space where you can see 360 degrees around. Your entire sky is going to be filled with the sun, right? Because the sun's right over your head. It's going to fill the whole sky, right?
Yeah, but it's so far away.
No. If the sun was a mile over your head.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
It would fill the entire sky, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty friggin' big. It's big. But now we move it 93 million miles away, and it becomes the size of a dime held at arm's length, right? So I moved it 93 million miles away. It went from the entire sky to the size of a dime. So it reduced, due to perspective, to the size of a dime. If I doubled the distance, could you still see it?
Well, it'd be colder.
What if I went 8 times the distance? It would be so small you couldn't see it, right?
Yeah.
You guys could admit that. So 8 times the distance is a light hour. Okay. And they're telling us that the closest star to us is 4.5 light years away. Okay. All right, and you cannot see something that small ever. Okay, well, the light's traveling to us for 1 billion years, and when the light gets here, we can see it. Bullshit. Okay, bullshit. It's all nonsense. Everything we see in the sky is within the Earth system. Everything circles around us. The optics of the sky do not dictate the shape of the Earth. Look up at the lights in your ceiling right now. Look up at the light. You have lights in your ceiling?
They're broke. So I'll look,
All right.
I'll
Doesn't
look,
matter.
I'll look at this.
But look at those lights and tell me what shape your floor is. Nonsense. Ridiculous. So don't look up and say, well, the moon looks round, but that means the Earth is round. No, the moon does look spherical, but you can't tell.
So that's what my housemate said. It'll be out in 2 seconds.
All right.
Just go up to yes, right.
All right. We need to wrap up.
And no, they're ahead. They're
all right. So
I'll tell him to fuck off.
So we have a video that you can find on the app that it shows we made 4 moons, and they all look spherical, but one of them was flat, the other one was a bowl, the other one was a sphere, and the other one was a half dome, I think, or whatever. But again, you don't know how big they are, you don't know how what shape they are. So what we see in the sky does not dictate the shape of the Earth. Here's the 2012 image of Earth. Okay, this is the United States right here, right? It's the United States.
Yeah.
Right. All of the other continents, all of them are on the other side of that ball.
yes, it's a big continent, to be fair.
The Russia, China, everything, Australia, everything is on the other side of that ball.
It's well.
Stop it.
It's a well-known thing, though, that maps are disproportionate. Like Russia on a map is bigger
it doesn't
than
matter.
Russia actually
Look,
is, and Africa is obviously smaller.
This is the United States, okay? Everything else is on the other side of that ball. It's utter nonsense.
Going back to gravity and
go ahead.
Area
Sorry.
51. Have you ever heard of Bob Lazar?
I know Bob Lazar, yes.
So do you think his work at Area 51 involved aliens at all, or what do you think?
I think that either he could be total bullshit, but you know what? I really liked his story, and perhaps he was working on propulsion, on anti-gravitic technology that came from the outer space. Outer space is the space beyond Antarctica across the Earth's plane. That could be the outer space. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So so check this out. So let me move over here. That circle on that map is showing the land that we can see on that 2000 image of the globe. All of the rest of that land is on the other side of that photo. Okay.
Or that could be CGI. Well, that is CGI. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is this image right here from NASA is a friggin' painting out of scale, right? All of this other land, all of it is on the other side of that ball because it has to be somewhere. Okay. That is a fantasy cartoon of where you live. You don't live there. That is a cartoon.
If that's the case, do you not think it's very obvious? Like, do you just think that is them just kind of mocking all of us?
They're mocking the crap out of us, man.
But if that's the case, then is it not just very obvious to the point that like the majority of people would have clicked onto that?
Dude, I don't know. It's the questions that your listeners and yourself are going to come up with soon are: how does the sun set? How do day and night happen? How do time zones happen? And that's a little harder to describe here, but we have videos on the app that will show that show you exactly how it happened. Check this image out here. This is a balloon we set up, and over here it's daylight. The sun is coming across the plane and it's fluorescing the sky. So daylight is different than sunlight. Sunlight is when you can see the sun, but the sun, in our opinion, is electric, and it's fluorescing the sky like a fluorescent bulb, but it only has a certain reach. And so over here, it's nighttime. Over here, it's daytime on a flat plane. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there's much chance of, say, someone leaves university or college or whatever and goes to be, say, an intern at NASA, and then they just leak it? Or would they not? Or would that not have
Yeah, do
already
you not think that
happened?
would have
That's not
anything-
going to happen because you can go, they even said that the people in the control room that are high-fiving each other and stuff, that when they do, NASA mocks us. They say, even we do simulations again and again and again, where we just send them simulations, and they say the simulations are so good that the people in the control room can't tell the difference between the simulation and the real mission. What does that tell us? That tells us, one, that the reason they can't tell the difference is
that it is
because they're all simulations.
Or maybe this is a
Okay.
simulation, and it's a simulation inside a simulation.
They're doing a simulation and they're telling them it's real. How about this? NASA gets our public money, $65 million a day. Did you know that NASA puts up tens of thousands of balloons that are satellites? Okay. They have 8,000-pound satellites hanging from balloons. If you just Google NASA Antarctica satellite balloon launch, you'll see them. And these things stay up there for over a year, and they can control their position by controlling their altitude remotely, and they hit different wind currents. And they're crashing all over the earth, by the way. The one crashed in Brazil a couple weeks ago, or in the Congo. And people, they come and they snap them up. But we also had whistleblower from NASA say that they train. I think either he did it or he knew about the training where they have these balloon satellite recovery systems in the air. They have these high flying craft that can recover these things without ever landing. So they're recovering these things, they're swapping them out. The NASA is the largest user of helium in the world, reportedly. Every time there's a big helium company, they buy it up. Okay. Because they don't want extra helium on the market. There's always a helium shortage. There's a reason for that. And they don't publicize this. Why don't they publicize it? Because it only takes, a few $1,000s, $10,000, $100,000, whatever, to put up a satellite versus the millions and millions and millions they say it costs to put one floating in space. I mean, remember all of the whirling and twirling that the Earth is doing? You have to believe that a satellite, a satellite orbiting the Earth is falling around the Earth. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
So satellites aren't in zero gravity. They just happen to be going the exact speed that will make them miss the Earth. As they fall, they're moving forward. So they're just falling around the curve, and they're never getting
just
lower.
Orbit. Like, that's just what that is. It's just
that's called an orbit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm stalling. Oh yeah. So this is what they tell us is going on above us. Okay. All of those satellites are orbiting at different speeds. Some of them are somehow able to stay directly above the same point of land the whole way around. That's called a geosynchronous satellite. They stay and they never move, right? But you have to remember, while those are doing that, the Earth is doing this. It's spinning, twirling, whirling, turning at speeds you can't believe. And all of it is going and working perfectly. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Okay, so say we're getting all of our phone signal from satellites.
Why would I say that? It's all done in undersea cables. Here are the cables of the Earth, fiber optic cables that handle 99% of all of the communication. Okay.
So is that in 5G as well?
There's cell towers, there's radio towers, there's internet cables that are going all across the ocean. They're laying these things that are out. This is an old map. There's probably even more. But notice, there's none from Santiago over to Australia, which would be close because they're not close. So now there's satellites up there. I don't believe that the satellites are used for telecommunications. Maybe occasionally they use them for radar or for transmitting something. They use them for imaging, but it's not used for, I don't believe that it's used for satellite TV or whatever, but that's all done with land-based towers. Like when you fly in an airplane, the direct TV goes off when you're 100 miles offshore. That's it. You're done. You're out. When you fly in an airplane from California to Hawaii or over the center of the Amazon jungle or out in the southern oceans, there's no GPS out there. Your plane goes into approximated mode. Okay. And it's not there. It's not on. It's not actually being tracked. And that's, if there was satellites, there would be global coverage perfectly everywhere, but there's not. There's only coverage where there's towers.
So do you not think there's any satellites that are orbiting Earth?
Satellites, not as described. They're not falling around the Earth. They're hanging from balloons. Possibly, maybe they've been able to implant some into the dome that are hanging from the
domes
dome.
at the top, or sorry, balloons at the top of the dome. So obviously they would hit as high as they could go.
Maybe
And then the satellite would be
I
hanging
believe
there.
that before Arthur C. Clarke theorized satellites, and then a couple of years later, NASA goes, "Oh, we got satellites, Sputnik and everything, that they can bounce signals off of the dome. They can bounce signals." So if you put we used to have a giant satellite dish that moved, and it would pick up different networks. And I believe that it's just picking up a spot on the dome where they're bouncing a signal off. That's all.
But then, do you not think if there was if there even was a lot of satellites at the top of a dome, you would see them?
We've never seen any cross the moon, but we've seen balloons cross the moon. There's a couple of videos where people are filming the moon. Our optics have outgrown their lives. We have our Nikon P900 and P1000 cameras. We can zoom in and see utter detail on the moon. We can zoom in on stars or wandering stars, which are now called planets. And we can see that they're not rocks in space, that they're pulsing orbs of geometric shapes and energies. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So what do you think the shape of the moon is? It's flat.
I think the moon, it doesn't matter. I don't think the moon is actually a physical object. The moon is the most mysterious thing in the Earth system, and nobody knows what it is. You believe it's a rock that can control women's reproductive cycles. Okay.
Well, it controls the waves on the globe.
It doesn't control the tides on the globe. That's another myth, right? The tides are a whole nother thing. We have videos about the tides. Dude, the rabbit hole goes so deep. We don't have answers for everything, but nothing has fallen into the globe only basket. Nothing. Okay. Yeah. There's too much in the works on both and only works on a flat Earth. We can see too far. You can't have high pressure next to low pressure without a physical barrier. But I don't use that as a proof, because you're taking the heliocentric model of a vacuum of space and holding it next to a flat Earth and saying, you need a dome, you need a dome. I don't believe space is a vacuum. I believe space is liquid. Okay. And that's why NASA uses all nautical terms for everything. The sea, the ocean, the ships, everything is nautical terms.
When did you go from globe to flat Earth? Just out of curiosity.
When did I become a flat tard? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you can say as you want.
So about 6 years ago or longer, I did a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole out of New York City. And it was all about conspiracies. And we dug deep into all of the big conspiracies of the world. And people in the third year started sending me flat Earth stuff. Like, hey, have you looked into flat Earth? Check this video out. I wouldn't watch a 1-minute video. And I banned people from our social media for being so stupid, even to suggest such a thing. But then I was talking to another very intelligent researcher. And I was saying, the deceptions of the world are so big. It's so unbelievable. And she's like, oh, David, it's worse than that. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I think the Earth might be flat. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And she goes, well, watch these videos. And she sent me a series of videos called Flat Earth Clues by Mark Sargent. And I started watching them. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to prove the globe and put this nonsense to bed. And for 2 weeks, I slept very little. I researched day and night. And all of a sudden I realized, holy crap, the Earth is flat. And I didn't talk about it on the podcast for months. And then finally I was like, it was eating me. And I was like, I got to bring it up. And I brought it up, and the amount of hate that we got, the amount of just people freaking out. But now that's changed. Like, I'm talking to people like you and others that are open to the topic, that are willing to look, that aren't afraid. There's so much information out there. But if you search Google or YouTube for, hey, flat Earth, is the Earth flat? You're going to land at the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is a government-controlled disinformation site that if anyone spends 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or 5 hours there, they will never look at flat Earth seriously again. None of us believe the crap that's on that site. It's a disinformation site, just letting you know. If you Google flat Earth and images, all those images of a disc flying in space or a turn up, with the dirt underneath it in space, all from the Flat Earth Society. None of that is what we believe.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Society is so easy to find. Like, I've seen it before.
Yeah,
It's so easy to find. Like,
why did Obama mention the Flat Earth Society in a half a dozen speeches?
Maybe he believes in it.
Why is he driving people to the Flat Earth Society? They're in full
He's a flat
panic.
earther.
Wait, so one more thing, and then we got to wrap this up because I got another show I got to do.
Yeah, no.
People say, we've known the Earth is flat for 500 years. Aristophanes proved it with his sticks and shadows experiment. Well, Aristophanes' sticks and shadows experiment is a myth. It never happened. If it did happen, how did he communicate with the guy 500 miles away? And if you try to find a book that talks about Aristophanes, the oldest book you can find is in a Rockefeller textbook from the 1980s when it was inserted into our indoctrination school system. Okay. The experiment has never been done again, but check this out. You know the experiment I'm talking about with sticks and shadows, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have two posts, get two posts, put them on your table, right? So here are the two posts, and you put a light over one of them. This one has no shadow, right? Because the light's right over it. But this one over here, the light's over here, it's going to have a shadow like that. Okay. I can then do some algebra and some spherical geometry and tell you the sphericity of my table. Okay. When in fact it's flat. The sticks and shadows works perfectly on a flat Earth. And then those of you that have looked into this and go, yeah, but I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson, he admitted that's true because he responded to us. He goes, but if you add a third well, it doesn't work on a flat Earth. That's bullshit. It does work on a flat Earth. It works perfectly. So I'm going to go back to the app for a second. Here's what I tell your listeners and you guys too. Get the app. Take the Flat Earth App Challenge. The app is $2.99. That's how you support me. You're buying me almost a half a beer.
I'll link this in the video description.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But if you click the question mark will bring you to the frequently asked questions, right? We have all sorts of other information. But the bottom right and the bottom center one is debunking the debunkers. So all of the videos done by mainstream science are in there, and we've taken them apart piece by piece, showing you what utter nonsense they are. We're not just saying, oh, that's fake. Oh, you're wrong. We're showing you how they're wrong. There's also different languages for people that need videos in different languages. There's if you click the weather on the top right, that'll bring you to Dark Sky, which is literally the best weather app on the program out on the internet. And if you want Dark Sky, I believe if you want Dark Sky on your phone, it's like $3 a month. It comes with the app, right? You get it for free with the app. So it's a one-time price of $3. You go in the app, it has all sorts of settings. You can tell the backgrounds to be random backgrounds. So the background will change every time you open it, or you can select your own. Or just pick, you could pick a different one. Every day there'll be a new video. So the featured video will come out every day. And you get a little push notification telling you what the video is about. I do short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekend. And I say, take the Flat Earth App Challenge. Watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. And then you will know that you don't live on a globe. And this is what happens. People say, hey, I saw you on the so-and-so podcast. I thought you were an idiot, but I took your challenge. I spent $2.99 and I didn't want to wait for the videos every day. So I hit the video archive button. And that opened up all of the videos that have been on the app for, as it's loading, for the last, well, it'll show up. I just have a crappy connection here. It has all of the videos. And it goes, I haven't slept in 2 days. Holy crap, the Earth is flat. You've ruined my life. Now what do I do? And I say, welcome, Neo. And then the life changes from there. Things only get better. The next thing you know, you'll find yourself at a Flat Earth conference.
I don't think they have too many of them over here. I'm not gonna.
Actually, there's conferences all over the world. You have no idea, but because of this COVID thing, they've stopped. And the last thing, let me just show you. This is the jump forward button. If you watch the sun, this is the path that the sun makes every month over the year. So in June, it's on the inside, and on the equinox, it's over the equator, and on December, it's out in the middle. So it's a great way to learn about flat Earth. It's a great way to show other people what the hell you're talking about, you crazy nut. And that's that. So the last thing is, when you get it, a little pop-up, when you load it, a little pop-up will show up and says, would you like to subscribe for 99 cents? If you want to support me, you can hit that. It's really a donation button. The only thing it gets you is that pop-up will never show up again, rather than show up once every 24 hours, and you could exit out in a split second. So it's no big deal. You don't have to support me, but if you wake up every day and go, what's on the app? I got to see what's on the app, right? And it's changing your life. Feel free to subscribe. And that's it, man.
Just quickly, what's Flattoberfest?
That's the
Flattoberfest. Also in the app, I have a t-shirt shop. If you really want to flat smack some people, you can check out some of the t-shirts that you can wear. That'll
COVID.
Yeah.
David, I feel like there's a lot more things we could talk about. Like, if you wanted to do this again, like I know we've talked about Flat Earth this time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's do it again. So Flattoberfest is a conference that's happening in South Carolina. Flattoberfest.com. It's literally next week at the recording of this, and it's a one-day conference. We're going to have some presentations and a lot of just fellowship, meeting people that we've only talked to on the internet, and they literally become your new family, because your family is going to disown you when you tell them the Earth is flat.
You're very into other conspiracies, aren't you?
I'm not into conspiracies.
Well, not
I'm
conspiracies,
into
just like the truth.
I'm into truth, my friend.
Yes, yeah. That's like, I got that impression from the podcast and your Instagram as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there is more to talk about, and if you wanted to do this again, and we could go not Flat Earth but other things, I would love to. So
here's my suggestion. Put this video out. Send me a link when you're done. Put this video out. Wait a couple of weeks until after the hate slows down and all of the hateful comments and all of the people that have unsubscribed from you, and you've gotten over that, because you're going to gain new subscribers. Check this out. If I had a restaurant, let's say I had a restaurant, there's only a certain number of billboards that are good for that restaurant, probably within 10 miles of the restaurant, right? But if I put a billboard where you guys live for my restaurant here in Connecticut, that's no good. But every billboard is good for Flat Earth. You know why? Because Flat Earth has the target market bigger than anything else. It's every single person on Earth. Okay? It's the largest market, right? And it affects every single person every single day. Okay? And when people find Flat Earth, you never go back. Boys, you've been red pilled today. You're in, you're out of the matrix. You're going to try to deny it, but it's going to eat you from the inside. Okay. Get the app, watch the video every day. If you have extra time, we'll watch some of the other videos, right? Accelerate your learning. But if you watch the daily video every day, you're going to have a big smile on your face, and you're going to learn how to take rejection really well, because some of your friends are not ready to be woken up, and they're going to reject you, right? And maybe even some family members, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I have no worries.
All right, guys.
Right. Lovely. Thank you very much. That was fantastic.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that was quality. Absolutely quality.
Yeah, that was great. I really appreciate all of the clips as well and the diagrams.
That's by far, like, that has to be video. We would lose so much value if we didn't do that.
So you recorded the whole thing. Put this up, send me a link, have your intro on it, have all of your links to your stuff, and then I'll share it inside of our network. And you guys were great. It was a good time.
Okay,
lovely.
Perfect.
Great. Thanks, David.
Yeah, and in a few weeks I'll give you a shout and we'll talk some more about
all right.
Anything else that needs told to everyone.
Right. Well, you can talk about anything you want. I mean, I have another website I'm not even going to tell you about yet, because the rabbit hole is so deep it'll eat you alive. I'll tell you about it on the next show. All right.
Okay. Great,
all right.
Great.
All right. Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks. Don't forget to send me a link, please.
All right.
Yes,
will do.
course.
See you.
All right.
Right.
Cheers,
See you
David.
later.
Thank you.
See you.
Appreciate
Bye.
it.
Bye.